Something to Offer, the show that goes to the heart of people living their dreams. And we'll meet them in just a moment. My guest today is a man who has accomplished many dreams and inspired people along the way. He is a man of great vision. The culmination of his experience has culminated in Beauty by Blane, a design consulting company, and he is its fearless founder and president. And as if that isn't enough or weren't enough, Blane has recently come out with a wonderful book, Lula's Pearls. It is my pleasure to welcome Blane Charles back to the show. Thank you for being here again.
Oh, it's great to see you. It's great to be here again.
It's
Thank you so much for having me.
What is one of the most impressive visuals you have ever experienced in your life, man-made or in nature, and what reaction or impression did it leave on you?
Wow. Well, I've traveled extensively, as you know. About 10 years of my life I've been traveling all over the world. And one of the places that I visited, which still has the biggest impression on me, is South Africa. And how I got to South Africa is also very interesting, because I actually was doing a design job for a friend of mine that I used to dance with, who he and his boyfriend bought a brownstone in Notting Hill in London, and they gutted the whole brownstone out and redid it. And for Christmas, they hired me to just redecorate everything and give it that holiday flavor. And Timothy Nash, his boyfriend's mother, was so impressed that they took me to South Africa, to Cape Town, for New Year's, for this wonderful vacation. And it was amazing. And this is where I saw the visual that I'll never forget. Actually, there was a few, but the one that was most impressive was called Tabletop Mountain. And this huge mountain that actually looks like a lion when you look at it from afar. But you get on a cable car. It's like a little round ball, and the floor turns while you're standing in it. But you wait on a deck for the cable car to come from the top of the mountain down to the deck. And literally, it looks like a speck in the sky. And then you realize, as it comes closer to you, that it's this cable car that's taking you to the top of this mountain, where actually on the top of this mountain, I was standing with the clouds at my neckline.
Oh my goodness.
So you have to walk really slowly, because you have, you know, the oxygen is limited. There's botany and animal life on this mountain that cannot be found anywhere else in the world.
Wow.
So that was one of the the first thing that came to my mind when you asked that question was Tabletop Mountain.
Wow,
Cape Town.
how exciting is that? Now, shadows and light and dark, how are they used in your work in design and in the book, of course, because the photography is black and white? So how does that work in your world of...
That's interesting. Shadows and light.
Yeah, shadows, light and dark, yeah.
I think contrast is really, really stimulating and exciting. And in fashion, again, less is more. So I love the simplicity of the silhouette and playing with the colors instead of trying to exaggerate the silhouette of the lines. So, like for example, what I'm wearing this evening, I mean, it's a simple pinstripe suit with a crisp-fitted, clean tank top. So it's all about complementing the person and not overpowering them with something that's too busy or just not working for their body type.
Yeah, if it works right on, you know, Sarah Jessica Parker, it may not look right on me.
Exactly.
So, you know, so don't have me get that dress that she wore, you know, in Sex and the City, because it might look stupid on me, or vice versa, you know.
Well, you know, and also, exactly. I mean, you know, it's amazing how, you know, everyone's so different, so you have to really have a good eye to know what works for each individual. And this is where I pride myself with Beauty by Blane, because of the training that I have. My eye is so keen that I know instantly when I look at a client what's going to work and what's not going to work for her. And then, you know, for the book, I mean, it was exciting because, you know, when Hosea and I first sat down and came up with this brilliant idea, he, being the photographer genius that he is, decided, he was the one who said, I think black and white would be the way to go. And I saw his work. I've been a model for him. I've been on both sides of the camera with him, and I know he knows what he's talking about. And it shows in the book. I mean, it's amazing the diversity of the pictures and even the depths of shadow, light and dark, with no color. It's just amazing.
I find that fascinating in black and white. That's what I love about that photography. Where did your sense of style get its foundation? I mean, I'm sure I think part of our interview will be quite a bit about her and her influence on your life, but where did the style thing come from? Is everybody styling in your family? Or, I mean, pictures I've seen, they all look pretty stylish.
I'm pretty fortunate to be blessed with a pretty stylish family, Anne-Marie. My father has an impeccable taste. When we were growing up in Brooklyn, he was in the export-import business, and he would travel and come back with all these delicacies and exotic fabrics and clothes and things that we were always excited. He'd be away for a while, and he'd tell my mom when he's coming home, and we'd like prepare this big dinner and get our best clothes on and get our hair and everything all right. And it was like a big production. And then when he'd come in, he'd always have these amazing, beautiful things, these gifts to shower us with. And everything, we never got something from my dad that we hated, ever. And then my mother, she sewed our clothes because she always was big on budget. So even like, for example, she'd make a dress for my sister. She'd make a tie with the fabric remnants from the dress to put in with my sister. So yeah, so I mean, I've always been surrounded by talent. So I think that we really have to give credit to the wonderful family that I have.
It's in the genes.
Yes.
So we're going to take a moment for an offering, and when we return, Blane will share how he created the enterprise that reaches many people and liberates the masses through Beauty by Blane. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you in just a moment. We're back with Blane Charles. Blane, share briefly, because we have so much we want to cover, the steps in the journey for you to begin, what the stepping stones were that had Beauty by Blane emerge, and then we'll talk about its total mission and what features people can get from Beauty by Blane.
Well, it's interesting you ask that question, because basically Beauty by Blane is owning something that I've always done. I've always loved helping my friends decorate their new apartments when they moved in, special occasions, dressing them to make sure they looked perfect and everything was on point. I'm very meticulous, and that's one of the things that I mentioned. That's one of my advantages in what I do, is the fact that I am so meticulous, and everything has to be perfect. So you get so many compliments when you enter the room. So it was a way of me deciding how to package what I do, because I'm not just a stylist. I'm not just an interior decorator, or I'm not one or the other. I actually give a full service, and this is another advantage to Beauty by Blane, is that you get to benefit from all of the experience in different areas that I've studied in, I've worked in, and so Beauty by Blane is just a way of packaging myself and also the people that I work with, because not only do I consult, but I'm a conduit, so I bring the client and the artist together. For example, I just started a new project called Evening with Beauty by Blane, where I actually put on an event where I invite clients and the artists. So they get to hear the artists speak about what they're so passionate about doing. They get to put a face to the product, a face to the clothing, or the talent that the person does. For example, I just had an evening, I launched the Evening with Beauty by Blane